Now, I hate to break it to you, but there's no such thing as a baby carrot. The cute little carrots they sell at supermarkets are actually regular carrots that have been shaved down to this baby size. You would think strawberry-flavored gummy bears should be red or pink, right? Well, sorry to say, but they're green. Brown rice and white rice are the same product. The white variety starts off as the brown one, but then some parts of it are removed by milling, which gives the rice its white color. This allows it to be stored for longer, but at the same time reduces the rice's nutritional value. Now, on the topic of rice, it was used to build the Great Wall of China. The builders mixed sticky rice soup with lime and got rice mortar for construction. It was stronger and had better water resistance than regular lime mortar. Thanks to the rice soup, the Great Wall has been able to stand for centuries despite the elements. You found a long-forgotten chocolate bar somewhere deep in your desk. Yum! Nice surprise! But when you open it, you hesitate. There's some unpleasant-looking kind of dusty film on it. Don't worry though, it's still safe to eat. It's just that the fat or cocoa butter used to make the chocolate has been separated from the rest of the bar because of the heat. As it cooled back down, it created this whitish film. The taste might be a little off, however, so it may be best to use it for cooking instead. And you'd have more self-control than I do. Avocados can't ripen while on the tree. If not picked, they will simply fall from the branch while still not ripe. When picked, though, they will become soft and flavorful just like we love them. This happens because of the burst of ethylene produced by the fruit itself after picking. It's inhibited while the avocado is still on the tree. Tomatoes bought at supermarkets often have a weak flavor. It has to do with how they're grown and stored afterwards. Tomatoes are gathered when not fully ripe yet, and they ripen in the transportation containers and on the store shelves. But if they're stored at temperatures below 40 degrees Fahrenheit while not fully ripe, they lose a lot of their flavor. So, to keep them tasty, it's best to store tomatoes outside the fridge. Honey is probably the only food that can literally never go bad. If it's properly sealed with no air left in, it can go for millennia and still be edible. The oldest pot of honey ever found was 5,500 years old, next to the mummy of Winnie the Pooh. Nah, not really. While dark and milk chocolate raise no questions, their white sibling isn't chocolate at all. It doesn't contain any cocoa powder, which makes chocolate, well, chocolate. The white variety is made of cocoa butter mixed with sugar and flavoring, usually vanilla. Peanuts are closer relatives to peas than to nuts. They're legumes, the type of plants that includes peas, chickpeas, and beans. Cashew nuts aren't nuts either. They're seeds that are collected from pretty large fruits. The same can be said about walnuts, almonds, pecans, and pistachios. When you buy some sushi rolls with crab meat, what you get is no crab at all. The red and white stuff is what is called imitation crab, and it's basically paste made of fish. Its other name is surimi. By the way, sushi was originally a way to preserve fish. It was stored in fermented rice, which could keep fish fresh for up to a year. And after that, the rice was thrown away while the fish was cooked and eaten. If you get all tearful while cutting onions, there are several ways to avoid that. One is put the onion in the freezer before cutting it. That will freeze the molecules of the chemical that makes you cry. Another method is washing the onion in cool water just before cutting it. The cold and moisture left on the onion will not allow the tearful chemical to get in your eyes. And the third way is to put a wet paper towel next to your cutting board. The chemical gets attracted to the nearest water source, which is usually your eyes, but in this case, it'll be the towel. Now, the vast majority of wasabi we eat isn't actual wasabi. The real thing is very expensive. So what we get is just a mixture of horseradish, mustard, and green food coloring. Be careful when you eat fresh pineapple because it can literally eat you back. It contains an enzyme that digests protein. That burning sensation you get when you've eaten a bit too much pineapple, that's it. Mac and cheese used to be a really fancy dish back in the 18th century US. Pasta could only be imported from Italy, which made it expensive, and the process of making cheese was time and effort consuming. It didn't make the product cheaper either. Only the wealthiest could afford a plate of mac and cheese, and it was served in the fanciest restaurants as a delicacy. Oysters, lobsters, and pretty much any other seafood, on the other hand, were considered food for the poor back in the day. Seaside communities fed themselves with what they could catch in the sea, and that included mussels, crabs, and a lot of other stuff we consider delicacies today. Wow, I think if I ate mac and cheese with lobster right now, my head would explode. Back to rich food. In medieval times, fish was considered a gift fit for a king. English monarchs were known to be presented with huge pikes, and even before that, in the Roman Empire, fish such as red mullet was a delicacy that emperors paid for with large amounts of gold. Farmed salmon fresh is naturally gray. Wild fish eat a lot of shrimp, which makes their meat that trademark pink-orange color. The farm kind is fed with a special plant pigment for the same effect. The inventor of petroleum jelly, Sir Robert Cheesebro, claimed to eat a spoonful of Vaseline every single day. He also asked his nurse to cover him head to toe in the stuff when he fell seriously ill. He soon recovered and lived to be 96 years of age. All the while, he firmly believed in petroleum jelly's miraculous properties. It was a slick product. Oranges actually gave their name to the color we now know as orange. In Old English, this color was called roughly yellow-red. Only when the fruit became widespread across Europe, the word that signified their color appeared. If you want to take a closer look at a beehive, make sure you don't have any bananas on you. The pheromone that alarms bees to rise and protect their home smells like bananas, so you're likely to become their enemy number one if you get too close. Milk was once proved as a material for plastic. It was biodegradable and non-soluble in water and virtually didn't burn. But it was later outperformed by oil-based plastic because the milk-based variety couldn't be molded and became brittle over time. Also, the oil-based kind was a lot cheaper in production. Pound cake got its name for the mass of its ingredients. It was originally made from a pound of butter, a pound of eggs, and, you guessed it, a pound of sugar. So, it should be 3-pound cake. The most expensive pizza you can ever get costs around $12,000. It can only be cooked by 3 chefs in your home, and it takes 3 full days to make. Do the chefs have to stay in your home? In ancient Egypt, laborers were paid with food. They got radishes, onions, and garlic as part of their wages. These plants were known for their antibacterial properties even then, which made them pretty valuable. Although the most widespread color of cauliflower is white, it also comes in green, orange, and purple varieties. They're more difficult to cultivate than the white one, but aren't much different from it otherwise. As for the overall number of varieties of cauliflower, there are several hundreds of them. To easily test the freshness of eggs, put them in a bowl of water. A fresh egg will quickly go down to the bottom, while a rotten one will float. Hey, last one to the bottom is a rotten egg.
Tell us your favorite snack, and we will let you know what kind of person you are. Can't live without the salty, crispy potato chips? People who share your passion are often highly ambitious and successful at whatever they do. They have a CEO kind of personality, making them pretty competitive, success-oriented, and impatient. Sometimes they get mad when things don't go according to their plan, but then again, things most often go as they want them to, both with work and with family life. Tortilla chips are the favorite snack of all perfectionists. If that's your most frequent choice, you must be really self-disciplined. You plan life to the smallest detail. You always stand for what's right, or at least what you believe to be right. It doesn't mean you're selfish, though. You care a lot about other people around you. You take a bag of corn and drop it in the microwave. It starts popping kernel by kernel. Is your mouth watering yet? If popcorn is your favorite snack, even outside the movie theater, you must be the soul of any party. You're not the quiet type, as positive energy and good jokes pop out of you, just like your favorite snack pops in the microwave. You're a super popular person. Who doesn't like to have fun? You get along well with basically anyone, and always keep your emotions under control. Cheese curls, anyone? If that's your ultimate choice, you're a person with high morality and impressive manners. Integrity is something that defines you. You always treat others with respect, be it your family or colleagues. You never judge people by their social status, but by what kind of people they are. In case your idea of a perfect snack is Slim Jims, pork rinds, or anything else that involves meat, you must be really loyal. You stick to the same group of friends, like to order the same meal, and support the same sports teams for years. If that's you, try not to overtrust others. They might not be as selfless and kind as you are. Are you a pretzel kind of person? Well, then you sure know how to surprise others. You quickly get bored of everyday routine and try to spice it up in any possible way. You dress up, try new things, and your life is one endless party. The only problem is that sometimes you might overcommit. Make sure to take good care of your feelings. Would you like to have some crackers? If your answer is always, you must be really thoughtful. You usually base your decisions on logic rather than emotions. You can handle more than one project at the same time. You get the most inspiration from the time you spend alone. Here's a quick tip. Don't forget crackers go perfectly fine with a whole variety of foods. Cheese, jam, spreads, dips. Oops, it looks like I need a snack right now. It's cookie time. If that makes you excited, you sure are a sweet person who appreciates stability. You're a great friend, and the love you willingly give to others is a lot like the smell of freshly baked cookies. Soft, warm, and feels like home. You always leave a good impression on new people you meet. You don't like to experiment too much, so you'd rather follow someone's advice than learn life lessons on your own. Do people at the local candy shop know you by name? Candy fans are playful and have a sharp wit and sense of humor. You're often the first to laugh at your own jokes, though. And people can hear your laughter from miles away. When they do, they can't resist laughing too. You're never afraid to take the initiative and learn something for a new task or project. You manage to keep a balance between work and family. Good job! Would you put that pack of bright candies back on the shelf and reach for dark chocolate? You sure like to try to eat healthy, even when it comes to sweet snacks. You're most likely a mature realist who likes to think everything through. You don't like big crowds of people and prefer to spend time with the closest people. You're always ready to discuss pretty much anything and impress everyone else with how smart you are. Oh, and you never stop learning. Go you! Is that bubblegum on your table and in your pocket? If it replaces snacks for you, you might have no time to sit down and snack properly. That's because you're always full of energy and on the way somewhere. Patience is definitely not your strong side. You jump out of bed in the morning full of enthusiasm and stay up late to make room for everything you want to do. Peanut Butter Cup fans are mostly ambitious and independent. If you're one of them, you know exactly what you want from life, and you'll do anything to get it. People might think you don't care about others on that quest for success, but you're a great and loyal friend to the few you fully trust and love. Can't live without the bittersweet taste of sour gummies? You do love moving along the edge and making bold choices. Many people most likely define you as the most interesting person they've ever met. You trust your instincts and often make spontaneous decisions. You aren't afraid of failure and often find yourself in pretty weird situations. Do you actually do what literally every diet ever says and snack on fruit when you're hungry? And do you enjoy it as well? If so, I'm proud of you. No matter if it's fresh fruit or dried fruit, you definitely like to take good care of yourself and those around you. That probably explains why you have so many friends. You're positive and can always cheer up everyone else around you. You can talk non-stop on basically any topic. People know they can trust you with their secrets. Sweet! In case your idea of a good snack is veggies, veggie dip, or sticks, or something like that, I'm impressed. While you're dreaming of a carrot, I can tell you that you must be a wise and humble person. You know your worth, but you don't feel the need to advertise it to the whole world. You're comfortable in the shadows and gladly help others shine. Coaching and giving good advice to others is your passion. You're quite independent, but it doesn't stop you from being a great team player and bonding with others easily. Do you love the exotic taste of crunchy seaweed? You must be the adventurous type. The whole world is your oyster. You feel equally comfortable in your living room, at the beach, at the library, and at a loud party. You're a great listener and you genuinely care about the problems of others. Sometimes it might seem like you don't have much to do, but that's because you spend a lot of time slowing down and thinking about life. Those who choose rice cakes for a snack respect traditions, but don't mind some changes here and there. Rice cakes go well with many things, and the same goes for you and many life situations. You adapt to anything quickly and try to remain neutral in any dispute. Similar to rice cakes, someone might find you too plain just because they don't know you. Once they do, they realize you're easygoing and interesting. Here comes a bonus for all snack lovers out there. Answer a few yes or no questions, and I'll tell you something else about yourself. Do you snack on more than one bag or bowl of your favorite treats per time? Do you often replace the main meal with snacks? Do you always say no when someone asks you to share snacks with them? Do you have a habit of borrowing snacks from other people? Do you often snack at night? If you answered yes to 3 or more questions, congratulations! You can proudly call yourself a real snack fan. Grab a pack of chips to celebrate. What's your favorite snack? Do tell us in the comments. When you order a drink that isn't supposed to have cinnamon in it, but it smells like it, don't even try it. Chances are that someone has messed with your drink and tried adding some ingredients that really shouldn't be in there. Cinnamon has the superpower of covering up the smell and taste of other substances. So, the best you can do is never leave your drink alone and always sniff it before drinking. In case you can clearly smell a dirty, wet dog in your pet-free house, you might have some uninvited guests. Check your attic for rodents, raccoons, or squirrels. All those animals can use your rafters as their bathroom. If you find leftovers of their activities, don't play cool and take it all out yourself. Call pest control instead. If your house suddenly starts smelling like rotten eggs, I have some bad news for you. It might be a natural gas leak, so you should get your family out of the house. The gas itself doesn't smell like anything, but they add a sulfur-like scent to it to detect leaks easier. Leave the door and windows open to let the gas escape. Call the local gas company to inform them about the problem. They should give you instructions on what to do next. If you only get this smell when your hot water is running, there's probably some sulfur bacteria in the water itself. They feed on decomposing organic matter and produce hydrogen sulfide gas in the plumbing system. Call a plumber and ask them to shut the water line and drain the tank to refill it with clean water. You wake up to the smell of seafood. Fish stew. But wait, you don't remember buying or cooking any seafood lately. A fishy smell could be a sign some electrical fixture in your house is overheating and melting its insulating rubber or plastic. It's most likely the dishwasher, your washing machine, or an air conditioner. If you just ignore the problem and enjoy that smell for longer, it can cause you some serious trouble, such as a fire. Sniff near all the appliances in the house to identify the source of the smell. When you find the source, call a repair expert or get a replacement if that dishwasher is 40 years old. If you believe an outlet or switch is the source, shut off your circuit breaker and invite an electrician to take care of it. If you're smelling burnt toast, although nobody is making it as you live alone, it could be an electrical wiring issue. Check your wall outlets and all extension cords to see if they're overheated. Open the electrical panel box. If it turns out to be the source of the smell, call an electrician for help. If the tap water in your house suddenly tastes like metal, you should most likely blame it on your good old piping. Looks like it's been slowly dripping into the water, adding some zinc, iron, and copper to it. It's normal if you've been using the system for years, but in really old houses, it could add dangerous lead to the mix. It could also mean your water is acidic, and it could erode the plumbing. The best you can do is use a water softener or neutralizing filter to balance the water you're going to drink back to a normal pH level. Pencil shavings are a pretty toxic smell for tap water, but it happens when the vital liquid is going through plastic pipes. The reason is the antioxidants found in those pipes, so the only way to get rid of the smell is to get new plumbing. In case there's a musty odor coming from a fireplace you never use, the first thing you have to do is check the chimney dampers are closed. If they're perfectly sealed, try vacuuming and scrubbing the firebox. That's the area at the base of the chimney where the fire is. If none of that helps, you'll need to call a chimney sweeper to take care of your chimney. There might be water inside of it, so a professional should help you seal it for good. Does the water in your house smell like a swimming pool? Yikes, it's most likely full of chlorine. It's a disinfectant people have used in cities for over a century, so if you get water from your municipality, that's pretty normal. Chlorine is the worst nightmare for bacteria and parasites, but is safe for humans, mammals, and birds when in reasonable amounts. If you have amphibians or aquatic pets at home, though, you gotta make sure they don't drink it. If you want to get rid of that smell, try getting a carbon filtration system for your home. Does your house smell like the gym locker? First, check if you have any sweaty socks or t-shirts hiding somewhere. They like to hide under the bed or behind the couch. If that doesn't work, there might be some bacteria growing in your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. Seasons like spring and fall, when temperatures change and there's more condensation than usual, are the perfect time for those bacteria to thrive. You can either try to solve the problem with specialized cleaning products or call a professional for help. The opposite of the gym locker is that nice, all-new smell in the house. It's okay when you've just finished painting the walls, got some new furniture, carpeting, or floors. But if the smell is super strong or stays after a while, it means some organic compounds are in the air. They aren't exactly healthy to breathe in. Open all windows and run fans to make the air move around for at least an hour. Keep repeating it with breaks during the entire day. Next time you want to renovate the house, make sure to remove new pressed wood furniture or carpeting from their packaging and leave them overnight in the garage. All the dangerous substances should air out by the time you bring your purchases inside. If the new smell doesn't go away after a month, ask for a replacement. Unless you like drinking lake water, you won't be happy if the liquid coming from your tap suddenly smells fishy. Just like with lake water, it means there are some bacteria in the system, and organic matter like decaying leaves or plants could be to blame. There isn't much you can do with your internal plumbing system, but you can try contacting your water provider and informing them of the problem. It's their task to monitor the levels of organic compounds in the water. When you turn on the heat after the warm season and feel the burning smell around the house, don't worry. The dust that was accumulating in the system over the summer just has to burn away. The smell should disappear after a couple of hours of the heating working again. You might want to replace the filter in the heating system at least once in a couple of years, though. Your front-load washer might smell like sewage and mold because it's in constant contact with water. Every time you open and close the dishwasher, moisture from its hard work stays in the seal. That's the perfect environment for smelly bacteria. If you want to stop their breeding, leave the washer door and the detergent drawer open for a couple of hours after every load. If you see mold in there, try mixing white vinegar and baking soda 1-to-1 to wipe the mold off. The terrible metallic smell in your house that feels like ammonia is actually ammonia. If you clean with ammonia or use a coolant based on ammonia, it could be leaking from somewhere. Check out the household appliances that use coolant. If you don't have any, the smell of ammonia could come from mold that's hiding somewhere in your house, or a rodent that ended its life inside your walls. In any case, don't ignore this smell as it won't just go away.